Morgan hoop, Nurge frame. What are they? How do they work? Is one better than the other? We're going to take a close look at both of them today. Welcome back to 123stitch.com. A short time ago, I did a video where I compared Q-Snap frames to Nurge hoops. I showed you how they work, how you put them together, advantages, disadvantages, why you might choose one over the other. If you want to see that video, there's going to be a link to it in the description below. After that video, though, some people were asking me about the Morgan hoop. What I thought about it, how does it work? I've never used one before, so I took a really close look at it this past couple of weeks and tried it out in different size fabrics and everything. So I wanted to share with you what I found. First thing I found out is that it's very similar to the Nurge. They're both plastic, they both have a tongue and groove configuration to hold the fabric tight, and they're very similar, but there are some differences, so I thought I would go over them with you today. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on a thing. And links to all the hoops mentioned will be in the description below. Let's go ahead and get started. This is a Morgan hoop. It comes in several sizes, and here I have a 10, 9, 7, and 5 inch, as well as some combination lap stands that I'll show you in a little bit. The hoop itself is made of a pretty good heavy-duty plastic. It's not too heavy in weight. It has this long bolt at the top with a wing nut that will loosen and tighten your frame. The outer hoop has this ridge all the way around the inside of the hoop, and then the outer hoop has a groove all the way around the outside. So when you put them together, they snap into place, and when tightened up, they hold your fabric tight. They do call themselves the no-slip hoop, and they say once you've got it in there and tightened up, your fabric's not going to loosen up. I did try linen, even weave, and a thick Aida on this, and they all worked equally fine. They all worked great. I like that there's a lot of different sizes in it as well. I'm going to show you how to put a piece of fabric in here. I like to do it on a firm surface because it's easier to snap it in place when it's on something firm as opposed to trying to do it in the air. Put my fabric right on top there. Put the hoop on top. You can hear it snap into place. And then you just spin the little wing nut until it tightens up. And you can tighten it quite a bit until you're happy with the tension. You can see it's nice and tight. It's not going to come loose. I stitch with all different kinds of fabric on it. Thick Aidas, thin linens, even weaves. I didn't have any issues with it coming loose. At first I thought this big bolt thing was going to be in my way, but it wasn't at all. I actually like it. I like the long bolt. It's not going to come out and get lost. The wing nut is really easy to tighten. I don't like on other hoops where they have that screw that comes off easily, falls, you lose it, you can never replace it. So this is a real bonus in my opinion. I have tried putting the hoop over the stitch portion to see if it would damage my threads. It did not. It does squish them up in there because there's that tension, but I don't leave it in the hoop overnight or for very long so that it doesn't have the chance to damage it. And I also, if it bothers you at all, it didn't bother me putting it over the stitch portion, but if it bothers you at all, you can just put a thin piece of fabric right over the stitches so that there's a little bit of extra protection. So that's the Morgan hoop. I like it. It's easy to use. It's lightweight. I like that there's a lot of different sizes in that it doesn't loosen up. It's in there tight. The other thing they have is these lap stands. They come in combinations, different sizes, 5 and 7, 7 and 9, 10 and 12, I believe, maybe 12 and 14. Let me show you how they work. You put the bottom hoop on your table. The 3 legs go in place in the little holes in the hoops. And then this is going to be your top one that we're going to load with a piece of fabric, just like we did before. We're going to put this right on top until it snaps into place. Tighten it up. And then the easiest way I found to get the hoop on top of the stand is to turn this upside down and line up the holes until they snap in place. Then you can turn it this way. So you can see you now have a stand that you can use on your table and your lap, hands-free stitching. For those of us that have trouble with arthritis at all, it's nice to be able to do something like this where we don't have to buy a fancy frame or anything, and we have 2 working hoops that we can use to do hands-free stitching. I know a lot of people that do punch needle and embroidery use these frames. The nice thing too is that you can use both hoops. So if I need a bigger area, I can turn this upside down and do the bigger hoop on top. So that's kind of nice. Now let's look at the Nurge frames. They come in 4 different sizes. They're called 1, 2, 3, and 4. The smallest is about 3.5 by 4.5 inches, and the largest is about 9.5 by 11 or 12 inches. They come in a variety of colors, including the ones you see here: pink, purple, gold, there's a yellow, there's a green. So the colors are kind of fun. And they come in all the sizes in the different colors. The frame itself is made of a very lightweight, thin plastic. These are the lightest frames that I've found. The Morgan is close, but this is definitely lighter. They have a screw enclosure on the top. It is the type of screw that will screw right off if you're not careful. It goes right back on, but that's just something to be aware of. The Morgan with the long bolt was kind of nice when you get used to it. They also have the ridge on the inside of the hoop and the groove on the inside of on the outside of the inner hoop. So again, they snap into place, tighten it up, hold your fabric nice and tight. Let me show you how you put a piece of fabric in here. Again, we're going to do it on the table because that is the easiest way. Lay the fabric on top, put our frame on top of there. Because this is thinner, I find it a little harder to get it on. Not a big deal, just a little harder to get it in place. Snaps in, and then we just tighten it up. So these are some of my favorite frames now. I really like the Nurge because it's easy to hold. It does hold the fabric tight. I tend to like it better for projects that fit within the frame area. So if I'm doing a bigger project, I'd use this one. I'm not a huge fan of putting the frame over my stitched area. This one is thinner. It seems to squish it up a little bit more than the Morgan. I haven't had any problem with it damaging any threads, and I have tried it out that way. Haven't had any problem with that. And I know stitchers that use these and put the Nurge frame right over the stitched area. Just like anything else, you can try that thin piece of fabric in there, or definitely remove it every night when you're done stitching. But that's just my preference, to just not even go there. I would hate to stitch something and have it damaged. So that's the Nurge frame. You can see it's pretty similar to the Morgan. There are less sizes available. That's one thing. The colors are pretty. That's an advantage. I did, just to see what it would do, I put a frame in, I put the fabric in the frame. This is a linen. I put it in and left it for like 4 days without removing it, just to see what would happen. And if you can see this side, I have a really good ridge going on there. It's pretty creased. I did iron it out on this side of the fabric, and you can see that it's almost gone. And that's just an iron. That's not washing it or wetting it. It's just a little steam iron to it. There's still a little bit of wrinkle in there, but not bad. So it may look a little scary when you take it out of the frame, like I'm never going to get that out, but it does come out, so don't worry. So that really shouldn't be an issue or a worry at all. So that's the Nurge. What do you think? I like them. I do have these in my collection now. The Q-Snap is probably still my number one. I like it a lot. I've been using it for years, so I'm still used to it. That's my favorite. But I do like the Morgan if I want different sizes, and I like this one because it's lightweight. That's my opinion. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel because you don't want to miss out on a thing. We hope to see you again soon.